Well, it's Halloween. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Halloween. Welcome to another edition of Otaku Thursday, where we talk about anime and manga here. Uh, Thank you for clicking on this video. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe at the bottom there. We really do appreciate it. We got a lot to serve up today since it is Halloween. The holidays are going to be starting around the corner there. Yeah, I know some people were upset about the video we put out with a little bit of Christmas in it, but it was purposely done that way because there's a lot coming starting this weekend. The broadcasters starting their holiday special run already. People say, "Well, it's too early." Nah, listen, it's November, December. There's so much out there. They want to entice you, especially stuff that hasn't been shown in a long, long time. Because we're getting some holiday specials that just hasn't been seen in a while. But let's start off this edition of Otaku Thursday with a little bit of news that's going on, anime news specifically. If you're familiar with the Fire Force anime out there, we've gone through 2 seasons of it. There's been a lot of fans on it. I'm still trying to get through the first season. It is good. I'm not knocking on it. It's been slow. It's been, of course, when you're in content creation, you get busy. Sometimes some series get knocked in the back on there, but I'm catching up. Like, for example, ReZero, I'm all caught up. Dragon Ball, I'm all caught up. I mean, there are many series that I'm caught up with. But getting back to Fire Force, we found out that Season 3 is in production according to Anime Corner. But this will be the final series for the production itself, for the anime. We're losing a lot of stuff out there. Mangas and animes are coming to the end. My Hero Academia is one of the ones that are be leaving us on there. Bleach is almost to its end. We already lost Attack on Titan. And many others that are coming to the end. But we have new things that are coming forward. Dragon Ball Damia, the latest on there, which has been fantastic. ReZero still kicking ass, taking names. Then we have Don, which also beautifully done. Really beautifully done out there. And many other animes that are coming out this year and winter for 2025 and spring 2025. There's a lot coming, a lot of good content, some new stuff and some old stuff out there that's returning for another new season. Now, the drawback on Fire Force Season 3 is it's going to be split up into cores, Part 1 and Part 2. The first one you will be able to see first thing in the spring in April of 2025. But unfortunately, Core 2, you'll have to wait about almost a year, 9 months to be exact. It will not be airing their second part until January of 2026. So you'll have to go through an entire summer and the fall before you get, and of course getting into the early winter, so it won't be there until winter 2026 for you. So that's going to be a long process, depending on how many episodes. We haven't gotten an episode line run yet on it. It's too early to say because it's in production right now. So we don't know exactly. I mean, I guess they will go the same amount as previous seasons, but you never know. Sometimes they cut it down. Now, out of manga news, we're not through yet with My Hero Academia. Looks like they're going to be getting about 60 new pages for its final volume, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. So technically it's not over. Are they going to translate that into the anime? I don't know. But from what I understand, this is a good wake-up news to wake up to. That, we're going to get a little bit more of My Hero Academia. I don't know if they're going to be doing a last movie to it. I haven't seen this current one, but from what I understand, it is very, very good. With all these series that are going, it's nice to hear that they'll add to it. So we'll expect that toward the end. I don't have a date as of yet when that will happen. It's supposed to be ending 2024, but when it'll be exactly released, it'll probably be released with the rest of the end of the series. And here's another anime that's coming back. Let's hope they do a better job than they did the first time around and not have the massive delays that they had with this series. If you remember Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, they're getting a season 2. It's been greenlit according to legal documents filed by the Shueisha production firm. I mean, we don't have too much info on it. We know that basically they're going into production with this. When, where, when will it be released? Could be another year before we know, depending on how this goes. If they don't get another round of delays like the last couple of episodes to this, I haven't even watched the last episodes yet. You know, I watched the entire live action movie, which was decent, but it was missing out on the blood color. You know, which was the animated series. One thing that I liked about the animation work is that the way they infused sort of like the paint splotches instead of actual real true blood on there. So it gave it a good look when they were just basically the zombies were showing up. And, it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun and different for a zombie series. This was sort of like just when you thought, you've seen it all in zombies, someone always figures out another way to get around this. Now, moving on, we're in Halloween. And I know most people, they'll be like, we had a little bit on another video where we threw a couple of suggestions out of 2BTV for you. If you haven't caught that video yet, that's our Goosebumps Buffy the Vampire Slayer video. There are some suggestions on there. But if you haven't seen a lot of the horror anime, people have been discussing whether horror anime isn't scary enough or bloody enough. They still need to work on it. After what happened with Uzumaki up on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, the first episode was fantastic, and then it kind of dropped a bit and picked back up. It has its critics to the situation. Something that if you haven't grabbed the manga itself, go out and get it. Go out and grab it. It is his artwork, Junta Ito's artwork is fantastic. It is some stuff. And there are some live action, like Uzumaki has a live action from, I think, 2009 or earlier. It's out there. I think it's on Retro Crush. Retro Crush has that on there. You're able to watch it for free. It's not part of the paid portion of it if they haven't changed that yet. But I'm going to throw a couple at you. I'm going to throw a couple at you that are really, really good. This is like a mixture of movies and series that you might want to jump into. Some of them you might be already into. Others may have put their self aside and says, I don't know. I might not want to try this. Or don't realize it's an actual horror. Because, most people don't realize that some of this stuff is actual horror movies or series. It has a horror thriller type look to it. But first of all, I want to throw at you one of the best anime series right now, hands down, and probably going to be in contention for Anime of the Year for 2024. Of course, what I'm talking about is Re:Zero. If you have not seen Re:Zero, we are right now currently in the 3rd season of this series. This was based on a light novel and manga. It is really well done. It is fantastic. If you haven't gone into this, get into it now. I mean, literally, like, you got 2 seasons and the beginning of the 3rd. The 3rd season arc, the war, is just fantastic. And I'm just going to give you a synopsis of it for you, for those who you haven't seen it yet. Subaru Nakatsuki is suddenly summoned to a fantasy-like world. And I'll tell you, most of the time when you see izakais, you normally either die on an operating table, hit by a truck, or died in some horrible manner and transported to a new world. In this case, or you're pulled out of that world and fallen down a corridor. In this case, with Re:Zero, Subaru is just coming out of a store, and he just blinks his eyes for 1 second, and suddenly he's in a fantasy world. He's been ripped out of his world in the blink of an eye, which is the way it's done. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen the opening minutes. Just after arriving, he is killed while trying to help a young half-elf he befriends, Emilia, who is a candidate to become the next ruler of the kingdom of Lunicra, only to revive some hours in the past. After dying sometime, Subaru realizes that he has the power to turn back time after his death. It's sort of like a video game. You die and you go back to your save point. After successfully helping Emilia, Subaru starts living in one of the mansions of Roswell L. Matthews as a butler. Out of gratitude and affection for Emilia, Subaru makes use of his newfound ability to protect her and help her on her ambition to be successfully appointed as the next queen, also providing assistance to other friends he makes along the way while suffering due to pain inflicted on him every time he dies, and carry along the memories of everything that happened before his power activates, which is forgotten by everyone except for him. And of course, he can't tell anyone. This is fantastic. I mean, you may say, so why is it because his deaths are brutal. They're brutal. I mean, the first couple of deaths alone, in just the first 2 episodes are just horrific. What happens to him. When you see stories about when people die and they're sort of groundhogged back, everything's all right. With Subaru is when he comes back, he feels the death itself. I mean, he's almost vomiting every time. The realization that he died horribly, the pain, he's still suffering somewhat as he comes back. I mean, it's fantastically done. And also, folks, beware of the rabbit.
Look! Jesus Christ!
If you know what I mean, for those of you who have seen it, not to give much away. But like I said, it is fantastic. The story arc right now, it's incredible on the 3rd season. So basically, do catch this. I mean, this is really one of the best animes you could see. I mean, next to Mushi Tenshin, and now we're probably Don, who's probably going to be the next contender up there, which is probably the fight between Don versus ReZero for best anime for 2024. But also there's a whole line of other animes out there, and some that still haven't come forward. I mean, you even have Dragon Ball Daimyo out there, which the animation looks fantastic. We've had our first major fight scene in the series, and it's fantastically animated. It is a good amount of content. You'll get through it. If you want to do a marathon in the evening, a group of friends, you'll get some people that haven't seen it. It's well worth the watch. So moving into the next one, which this anime, it's a short series. It's only 1 season. It does have a mini movie. I haven't watched the mini movie yet. But I'll give you a fair warning on this. This does have a good amount of fan service if you like the fan service of this. Especially a lot of breastises. It's a lot of zombies, some blood, some insanity that goes on in this. It's the series of High School of the Dead. It's got a kick-ass soundtrack to this. It's a good premise. Fortunately, we won't be getting any more. I mean, we're hoping maybe it gets resurrected somehow. There are manga books on this, they're fantastic. There's even an omnibus, which was really well done on there. It's out there, but it's probably a little expensive now to get, but well worth the money for it. The main plot, it's set in present-day Japan. Beginning of the world is struck by a deadly pandemic that turns humans into zombies. They refer to them as them. It's similar to like Walking Dead. They have different names to it. The story follows a group of high school students and their nurse as they deal with the worldwide catastrophic event known as the outbreak. As the cast tries to survive the zombie apocalypse, they must also face the additional threats of social collapse in the form of dangerous fellow survivors and the possible decay of their own moral codes. Starting from the high school, the students escape into a town where they must deal with a corrupt teacher and his students. They check their homes for survivors and pick up a little girl and dog. Later, they hold up in a mall, travel through a police station, and eventually make their way to an elementary school that's supposed to be a safe zone. Now, it is a really good. It concludes into a small mini movie, but it hasn't gone any further than that. Like I said, the series music opening theme, which is done by Krishna Korodon and I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, the Akasaboshi Rockets. It's a great kick-ass song on there, which basically is sung by Mauro Karushki. The single is available out there if you want to grab it. Like I said, it is really good. The series is good itself. Like I said, it has a lot of fan service. A lot of the girls in there are top heavy. Basically, them running around and a lot of jiggle element on there. But there's a lot of killing of zombies in various ways, especially using a lot of weapons, especially high-powered weapons. We go through scope rifles, handguns. We go through all the works on that. So it does have a good gore element to it, especially the opening minutes of it. It is really, really good. So if you haven't caught it, catch it on Hulu, or if you have Disney Plus. They both have that on there. Yeah, it's behind it. Surprisingly, I wouldn't watch it on Disney Plus. I watch it on Hulu because they probably edited it down on Disney Plus. And also to mention ReZero, you can catch that on Crunchyroll. So the next on the list, going down on here of really good series, is a really good, which was a manga also, and was made into a series through Aniplex. The series called Shiki. It's sort of like a vampire type series. It almost reminds me of Salem's Lot in a little bit. But if you take it a little bit further on Salem's Lot, and I'm not talking about the new one, I'm talking about the original. It is a story about a small town in rural Japan named Sotoba, where serious bizarre deaths occur. The series of deaths coincide with the arrival of the Konishi family, who had just moved into a castle built on the outskirts of town. Where we get to on this is sounding a little Stephen Kingish. Tosho, director of the only hospital in Sotobo, begins to investigate and discovers that there are supernatural presence at work, namely vampires who are called Shiki, which is translated in English as corpse demon. This is a short series, but it is well worth the watch. A lot of the people that have died, they come back from the dead, and they sort of begin to haunt the others and start turning them into vampires. Yes, I know, Salem's Lot. Sounds like it. But the thing is, it's seeing these people die slowly, and then the eventual when they return, especially like one character, which this girl that she had the hots for one of the male characters. I mean, she literally was a stalker. And when she died and returned, she started stalking from the dark that person she was in love with. I mean, and that was really creepy. I mean, this has creep tones to it. Once you get through 2 episodes, it is a little slow pace. But once you get through the first 2 episodes, you don't want to put it down. It's like, you start to read a book. This is also as a manga as well, so you can grab the manga on there. You won't put it down. It's just literally you won't put this down until you get to the end because you want to see how this finishes. Because, you have a vampire cult in a castle, and meanwhile they're just feeding off people left and right. And they're not realizing what it is. And these the doctor and the others that are trying to survive this are trying to figure out how to stop this. I mean, it is well done itself. Unfortunately, you might have to put a couple of bucks down on this because I believe it's only on. I believe it's on Amazon still only. There, you look it up. You might find it on a pay site. You won't be able to find this for free. It's no longer on Crunchyroll. Recently, it's been pulled from Crunchyroll, so it's not out there. But it is a good watch. It is a good watch. I've watched this before myself. I've gone through it, and the ending is satisfactory to the nature of this particular film. So let's move on. The next one, this one you will be able to find for free. Should be still on Tubi, and it is a classic. It's sort of sort of a rip on Alien, but taken to the next level, mixed in with a couple of other horror films from that genre series. It's called Lily Cat. And this is one big classic. Back in the early days of anime, when Sci-Fi Channel ran anime on the weekends, Lily Cat happened to be one of the movies that they used to show on Saturdays. It is a really well done as far as the animation work. The plot, it's kind of falters in certain places, but in itself, the horror, the creature effect, and everything like that, it is well done. It is very well done. The plot of it: the 23rd century companies are now surveying distant planets for mining rights. The Sincam Corporation is investigating a relatively new planet and has hired a deep space cruiser, Saldes, to shuttle the company surveyors to investigate. The employees consist of several different people, different crew members, including the main ship crew itself, including one character who happens to be the daughter of one of the corporate heads, who has also brought her cat aboard. Yeah, I know, alien. Named Lily. The ship allowed its passengers go into hyperspeed for 20 years, and they will only age 1 month in that time period because the trip takes that long. Now, during the voyage itself, the ship's computer detects debris flying through space and collects a sample which causes extraterrestrial matter to be loose in the ship while the crew and the surveyors are in cryo sleep. Upon awakening, the crew learns that 2 of the surveyors are imposters, but a bigger problem emerges that when one character is found dead from a mysterious infection, which seems to be a bacterial infection, which dissolves the body of its victims but leaves the clothes intact. But later it becomes a battle to survive whatever this thing is. And I'll tell you, it is incredible how this works. And of course, we're wondering what is going on that Lily the cat, is running around the ship for some weird reason. And of course, seeing that Lily has been killed, why is there still a cat running around the decks of the ship similar to Lily? And that's another mystery in itself, wrapped in an enigma. But like I said, it is really well done. It has elements of the original Sigourney Weaver Aliens to it. Yes, it came out in about 1987. You can catch it on Tubi TV and several other free sites. It is Retro Crush, I think, has it also as well. If you type in Lily Cat in YouTube, you might be able to find it for free as well on YouTube. I believe they haven't remastered this, so I mean, some of the quality is a little bit low. I know with the Tubi TV is a decent quality, so I would say use the Tubi TV. The other sites may not be as good as the Tubi streaming version on there. But like I said, this is one of the originals. It's not that long of a movie. It's this one you can catch real quick. It's about an hour or so. It's not a long 90-minute or 2-hour movie. The pace is pretty quick. But like I said, it is pretty good. Like I said, the script is not the greatest in the world, but it's well worth watching for the animation in itself. Now, the last two here are basically one is a series and another one is a movie. They're both very, very good. They're from the late Satoshi Kon, who happens to have made some great stuff. If you're familiar with the movie with Paprika and a couple of others out there, same man did this. To be a very, very good series that we're going to be talking to first. Of course, this has run on Cartoon Network, on the Adult Swim, and catch it on Crunchyroll, and that is Paranoia Agent. This is a really, really good. It's got a good opening soundtrack and closing soundtrack to it. Basically, the main plot is about this shy character designer named Tsuki, who creates an immense popular pink dog, Marimoni, finds herself under pressure to repeat her success. As she walks home one night, she's attacked by an elementary school boy on inline skates. 2 police detectives are assigned to the case. They suspect that she's lying about the attack until they receive word of a second victim. Now, this is a sort of a short story episodes on there. It's an anthology, but each of these stories all wrap together around Little Slugger, or Bat Boy as they call it in Japanese. Basically, Little Slugger does appear in each of these stories in itself, but each story has a plot to themselves, sort of a tale of the human condition. I mean, there's some great stories into itself. The further you go down the episodes, the more bizarre nature to them, till you get to the end where all of these stories wraps up into one episode in itself. It is well worth the watch, especially since it's Satoshi Kon. I mean, he has influenced many people on both in Japan, throughout the world, and even in Hollywood itself, with the type of content that he has created. Which leads me to the next, final recommendation in this episode. Basically, of course, we can't go anywhere but to recommend this great series. I have this on DVD, Blu-ray, VHS. It is one of his greatest movies that he's ever done. Back years ago when this was released, people said, what if Hitchcock and Disney got together? This would be the movie that they would create. This is by early Madhouse on there. Some people in the Hollywood business won't admit that they influence him, but you can see influences in the movies Black Swan and Requiem of a Dream. If you haven't seen those movies, basically you could find elements of this one, and that's Perfect Blue. In fact, Perfect Blue has some elements in the current Oshinoko, showing the dark side of the music business, the pop diva business, also the Hollywood atmosphere as itself. As the plot goes, the Mimama, member of a J-pop idol group named Cham, decides to leave the group to become a full-time actress. Many of her fans get frustrated and disappointed by her change from a clean-cut image, particularly an obsessive fan known as Mamoru, or Meat Mania, who starts to stalk her. Following directions from a fan letter, Mimama discovers a website called Mimama's Room, containing a public diary entries written from her perspective, which has her daily life and thoughts recorded in great detail during her former idol and acting career. She is joined by a manager and former pop idol Rumi and her agent Takador Koro. Mima confides in Rumi about Mima's room, but is advised to ignore it. Now, the thing about it is, when you get to the point, is that there are murders that are involved after her first job on a movie set called Double Bind, similar to almost like a Law and Order type series. Her distress level is gets sort of into a psychosis because she doesn't know what to believe, because what is happening is reality and fantasy are merging in, and she can't trust what's going on. Is it the Double Bind series she's working on? Has that come into reality, or is it just that she's realized that this is part of the set of the series that she's filming? I mean, it is a fantastic the way this is written, the way it's animated, the colors, the looks, just not to give away the ending. The ending segment alone is fantastically done. I mean, the way this ends, it is a real satisfying ending to it. But like I said, this brings up the dark side of the entertainment business, the J-pop, the pop idol, the Hollywood types movies and TV series. This is stuff that it becomes a dark nightmare in itself. Like I said, you had movies like Black Swan, which brings that up into perspective. Oshinoko, the same situation on that. The aspects that, the way that this movie flows with its music, its surroundings and everything like that, it is so well done. I mean, Perfect Blue, Paranoid Agent, they're both very, they're masterpieces from Satoshi Kon. Now, unfortunately, you'll have to pay out for this. You can get it on YouTube, Google Play, Fandango, and Amazon Prime Video. You'll have to shell out a little bit for it, but it's well worth it. I recommend get the Blu-ray for it. Get the current Blu-ray. But if you want to watch it immediately for Halloween, one of those sites, it's only about $4 to watch it on there. If you could find it by the high seas, you could do that too as well. You could probably find it out there. But I definitely recommend put this in your collection. It's well worth it. Like I said, I have all versions of this. It is well worth the watch. Japanese versus English dub. They're both, the Japanese subtitled, the English dub are very good. Like I said, I have the originals, and they did a very good job of the translation. It is well worth it. Get it. In fact, get all of these. These are all well worth to be in your collections. Before we go, let's give you a couple of extra things on here, whether it's anime and movies that are out there that you might want to catch as well, stuff that we didn't discuss, that are well worth your time to watch on this Halloween. Because like I say, there's so much you can catch. There's so much in an evening. But depending on how long some of these titles are, you might be able to make it through. Some of them are on Netflix, some of them are on Crunchyroll, some of them are on Tubi TV. So here's a list of some of the things you might want to watch this evening on Halloween.
placed in a sleep treatment facility in the year 2009 to give science time to develop a cure for a strange new disease. But something has gone terribly wrong. It is now 2031. Mankind is under siege and losing to a horrifying threat. The Blue.
Provide aid and rescue. Acting on a Mayday signal received from this vessel in area RZ3005.
I do not feel good about this trip.
Darling.
You know, we've got a batch of the new meds stuck in stage 2 trials. You could give some of those a shot.
This is the first I'm hearing about any
What is this weird place?
I don't know.
They sealed us in here like it's a tomb.
Now that you are here, we shall have you play a game. The stakes of the game are very high, your lives, in fact.
The two of you will now compete against one another.
And there's one more thing I forgot to say. There'll be consequences for the loser. Potentially fatal consequences.
Until the game is completed, you cannot leave.
Oh God, I'm so sorry! I didn't mean to, my hand slipped!
Yeah, that's right. You can catch all of those on all of those streaming sites themselves. Some of them I recommend. Get them on Blu-ray. Get them on physical media. It's well worth to have in your collection. Some probably are making it into a Criterion. Others, are being remastered. You'll be able to get a new version of them, which is probably coming out in the next year or two, depending on the studios themselves. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this. Which one of these were your favorite? Do you have your own personal favorites on there? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like, share this video, and hit that subscribe button. This particular show, Otaku Thursdays, on every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and Rumble, later on the other two streaming sites that we offer on this. So until next time, have yourself a happy, safe Halloween. If you're a parent, do check that candy. Make sure everything is really good, for the kids out there. If not, if you want them to stay home, there's some great stuff for the kids out there. Some frights that you can catch that are family friendly. So do catch it. We did give you a couple on there. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Happy Halloween. See you on the other side as we get into the holiday rush of Thanksgiving and Christmas. Until next time, thank you and bye-bye.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.
Decisions make me anxious. I put hours and they thank you. Don't be fuck on what you think, bitch. Make sure let me paint